Welcome back to Riding Bikes in San Diego. Here we are on Navajo, approaching Jackson, and typically when I ride my bicycle on this commute and I take this route, I would have made that right turn onto Jackson, taken that down to Mission Gorge, and gone back to the Mid-City area from there. But today I happen to be riding my electric cargo bike, and typically I don't like going this way because when I get over to Waring, I don't like how the bike lane disappears, and I've gotten harassed there a couple of times. So I haven't ridden this in almost a year, and also they were doing construction here, and that's what I wanted to show you. They were repaving these roads, and if I'm being honest, it's quite smooth. I mean, like clearly they repaved it, and it's a nice ride. But I figured with the e-bike, I would have the extra power I needed, so that maybe I'd get harassed less. And spoiler, I'm not going to get harassed by any drivers on this. I wanted to make this video to show you what they did in the construction, because the last time I rode this there was no paint left, and I'll put that little link right here on the screen. So far what we went through was the same as what it used to be, and I have an old video about that I can link to also. But here, this used to just be a white line. Now it's a buffered line. I remember the council member Raul Campillo, who put out a memo to the mayor Todd Gloria asking for a bunch of bike lanes and redesign on the roads in District 7. Was very proud of this, and I remember him going up on Instagram and putting posts up and everything. I had higher hopes than what we have here. This is really similar to what we had before, except now there's a buffer. And a buffer's not nothing, but it's still paint. I really, maybe naively, thought that there would be some kind of protection, especially along this stretch where there's no curb cuts, there's no anything on the sides of this road that a driver would dip into. There are no residences, there are no businesses. This is just a really long stretch. It's kind of a scenic route. There's a great overlook, great view over here. One of the things that I miss about riding in this area so much is the view. If you know what, I'll move that little thing, that little window in the next clip, and you can see see a really beautiful view of the uptown area from here. So I was expecting a bit more protection, and I know that it would have been a lot to expect that this whole guardrail on the side would have actually bumped out so that it would also protect the bike lane. That wouldn't have been so horrible, but I also know it would have been expensive. I thought maybe some flex posts would have been a decent idea. I thought that we would get a little something to act as protection for us on this road. And I said it in another video, but I think it's worth saying again. When I see infrastructure like this, on the one hand, happy the buffer's here. A buffer is a little bit more space that we have, especially in a lane that's painted in the gutter where if there's going to be debris, it's going to be here. So I have a little bit more space to get around, even if drivers are coming on fast. But sometimes when I see infrastructure like this, and I'm using that term infrastructure very loosely, but when I see stuff like this, I'm thinking this is less for people on bikes and more for people in cars who want to pull over. There's absolutely nothing stopping a driver from pulling over. And the worst part is we cross that intersection back there and there's nothing. The resurfacing did not extend down to this portion where the road is in horrible shape and all kinds of new cracks and damage is in the bike lane, right on the bike lane, and the line itself is fading. I can't for the life of me figure out why it had to stop back there, except for the fact that this is a three-way intersection over here. So maybe they just didn't want to mess with it, maybe they didn't want to disturb this, maybe this is too busy of an intersection here at Waring, but I don't know. I was going to cut the video here, but I also wish that there was a bike lane here. When you're on a bike lane on Navajo, why wouldn't you, what do you do? Like, do you pick up your bike and go onto the sidewalk and walk it? No, you want to keep riding, especially in a residential area. This is a residential area, and the pavement here is garbage also. I really wish there was some kind of infrastructure here. If I lived here, I feel like I would be demanding some kind of infrastructure. This stretch of road on Waring is a lot like that stretch of road on Lake Murray Boulevard that viewers of this channel are totally familiar with. It's residential. Keep the parking. You want the parking, keep the parking, that's fine, but there's no reason why there needs to be 2 lanes in both directions going through a residential neighborhood. I know people are going to knock this, but I would go for a bus bike lane here, increase transit, let these people ride to the shopping area. There's a market coming up, there are restaurants, things like that. Let people ride their bikes there. Let people actually access other neighborhoods by bicycle. Although, I feel like this is totally substandard, and they should redo it. The pavement does get a little bit better over here, and coming up in about a block is something I didn't expect, which is why I let this video go as long as it's gone already. And maybe it's just the times that I ride here, but I've never seen more traffic on this road than there is right now. This is usually a super calm road. And why wouldn't it be? I mean, the 8 is nearby. Mission Gorge is nearby. Like, I don't know. This is what was unexpected. This bike lane was not here the last time I rode this back in February. And I was so stoked when I saw this. I was so stoked I wanted to share it with you. Why doesn't it keep going towards Navajo? I don't know. But we got this bike lane here. Granted, it's in a door zone, so I'm just trying to stay to the left. I don't know who's sitting in these cars. I don't know if anybody's going to swing a door open. That concerns me a bit. This could have been put in, and the parking could have been floated out so that drivers wouldn't be in conflict with people riding bikes. But I'm happy it's here. I'm really happy it's here, and I don't know why it doesn't go the full stretch of Waring Road. If we had a lane like this that even went onto the other side of Navajo, which is that road that goes and connects to College, which we got through by taking a road through Del Cerro a week or 2 ago, that would be great. But this is an improvement, and if Councilmember Campillo had anything to do with this, I totally applaud that. I just wish it was complete. I love it when I discover things like this, and I'm so happy to be on this road in this bike lane as opposed to what we had before. As a matter of fact, knowing this bike lane is here makes it even more enticing to take this route, because Waring Road is why I don't ride this way. I also didn't want to wait for that light, because after the road I saw that there was nothing. So I take Zion here, and there's no infrastructure here whatsoever. This is a road that will connect down to Grantville from Allied Gardens, where we are, and it is a pretty steep downhill. That we have a school here. We're gonna get down to one of the local hospitals, and we're moving pretty fast, so drivers aren't giving us a hard time, and we're gonna enjoy the downhill, drive less, and ride a bike. Thanks so much.